Namaskar. A very good morning to each one of you, and a very warm welcome to this session, which is by way of a follow-up on the Anushthan that we have finished on the 10th. So let us begin with a prayer to the Guru principle. So just take a moment to let your awareness travel inside. If you feel like, you may want to put your palms together in the prayer position. Om Akhandamandalakaram Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ॐ श्री सद्गुरुवे नमः। In this prayer, we say Guru Sakshat Parabrahma. The Guru is nothing but the Brahman, which is absolute, which is without form, without attribute. Now this statement may seem like a paradox, because a Guru has a form. Normally, whomsoever we consider to be a Guru has a form. But the fact of the matter is that though the Guru has a form, and because he or she has a form, we can associate with it. The Guru's attachment or the Guru's recognition of the body as his form has disappeared. The individual who has a name, a location, a body, a particular job, or a role in life, that individual has disappeared. Only God exists. But he has a form, and because he has a form, it is so easy to attach ourselves to it. And just by focusing on it, his state of awareness starts getting transferred to us and we become uplifted. And then the realization comes that the Guru represents the eternal principle, which is responsible for creation, maintenance, and dissolution of this universe. Those three principles, we know that if there is an existence that we see before our eyes, it must have a beginning. So creation must have happened. It must be being maintained. because that is how it is. We ourselves, if you look at ourselves, we were born and we are having this continuation of life. Maintenance is a quality of the Brahman or or God. And then there is a dissolution. So when the shelf life is over, everything dissolves. But the Guru transcends all this. And there are two more functions of God which are not talked about that much. One is Nigra. God has become the form, all forms, but God has hidden himself in the heart of every form. So this concealment or Nigra is the quality of God. And then there is the fifth quality or the fifth attribute of God, that is Anugrah, grace. By God's grace alone, we can know God. Otherwise, we are always running here and there, looking for something, and we don't get it. This is the paradox that the one within us is God, and that God, because it is under the influence of our mind and ego, that God goes out looking for grace. That God goes out looking for realization. I want to know what God is. That is why one of the great sages in Christianity has said, the one whom you seek is the one who is seeking. I am speaking to you, God is speaking through me. You are listening to me, God is listening through you. But the awareness and understanding that God is speaking and God is listening is not there. And this is the Nigrah part. This is the concealment. So when this concealment drops, then realization dawns. There is nowhere to go. We rest in our own awareness. All search, all running around, everything seems like such a waste, and one laughs at it. Oh, I was running around for so long. And it is there right within myself, but I didn't know it. And this is the beauty of sadhana. Sadhana allows us to get into that state within ourselves where we know ourselves. And as the word suggests, in normal parlance, what is sadhana? The word comes from practice, constant practice. There is this famous saying that it says that karat karat abhyas ke jadmati hot sujan. Through continuous practice, even a fool becomes wise. So in the same way, when we do some practices which are aimed at bringing our awareness on the inside, and we keep doing them again and again and again, then our nearness to our own self, that starts increasing. And until one day, the distance between ourselves and us, it is removed completely, it disappears, and we are established permanently in the experience of the self. But this is a process. This has to be done. Normally, people think that sadhana means that you keep doing something. Yes, it, it asks for doing, but it has to be done with awareness. That the whole purpose of sadhana is to bring us closer to our own pure awareness, which is not tainted by any perception. What happens? We go out in the world, we are taking a morning walk, we look at a person. Now, if we have a particular bias against a person from a particular caste or religion, the moment we see somebody who belongs to that, some thoughts start. Should this be trusted? We have our prejudices that people from such and such caste or such and such religion are not to be trusted. So this thought comes up. Our vision has got tainted by our own concept. And this is what happens. And this is what happens when even we go to the Guru. People go to the Guru, very intelligent people go to Guru for validation because they think that they know. So they are going to test the Guru. They want to see whether is the Guru talking about the same truth that I think I know. If he is talking about it, then he is a good Guru. If he is not talking about it, then he is useless. He doesn't know. So this is how in every moment our perception keeps tainting our vision. And we trust our eyes, but the fact of the matter is that even eyes don't see. Because what we see through the eye is not what the eyes have seen. People who have got some knowledge of elementary science, they would know that what does the eye see? The awareness travels to the eye, or from the eye, the rays or some light is emanating from the object, some light is coming. That light is captured by the lens of the eye. It is projected onto the screen mentally. Then it goes through a filter. Like I said, our own prejudices, our likes and dislikes. If the form that we see is the form of a friend, and we just become very happy. If I am wearing a tilak and the other person coming from the other side is also wearing a tilak, I feel some kind of a harmony and I feel start happy. But if this fellow is having a beard or having a cap, then I say, oh my God, my day is spoiled. This is how every moment our perception is tainting our vision. Whatever we think we see, and we trust our eyes very much. We trust our ears. But fact of the matter is, it is not their fault. They are good transmitters and receivers. They are giving us something, but it is our mind which is always interpreting things. And what we eventually land up getting is a tainted vision, a tainted understanding of facts. So we are not seeing. The eyes are there, but we are blind because the perception is working all the time. So there is need to refine that perception so that it becomes absolutely transparent. The eyes start seeing exactly whatever they are capturing. They are seeing, but the person does not see. So this is where sadhana comes in. Sadhana is not about doing something. It is about removing the filter of your mind, which is continually deciding good or bad, like this is likable or this is not likable, this is something I hate, this is against such and such interest. All these perceptions are there. So in the process, what is happening is that you're missing the truth. We see the sunrise every day, and you say, oh, sun has risen. But is it the same sun? Is it the same sunrise? You go out for a morning walk. Is it the same breeze which is brushing against your skin and sending a sensation? No. But because we have colored our perception by this thought that, oh, the sun rises from the east, it is rising, and that's it. So the newness of every moment is lost. The beauty of the moment is lost. We are not able to capture it. That is why The entire purpose of sadhana is to clear up perception, which is the most difficult thing. Because we have been taught so many things. Our parents have taught something, our society teaches something, social media teaches something. We are so much caught up into all these perceptions that we have acquired that the progress does not happen. So most important thing is to be aware that whatever I am thinking right now, what is the filter I am using? My Param Guru Baba Muktanand used to say, change the number of your glasses. So we are all wearing glasses, whether our eyesight is challenged or not. So we have to be aware as to what is the number of glasses, what kind of filter I am using to see this world. And that is why the reality as it is not being manifested before me. So this brings us to awareness. The purpose of sadhana is to know who we truly are. And we approach things from that state without filters. But then we have the mind. A great philosopher said, I am because I can think. So we are sentient beings because we can think. We can use this mind. Now the whole thing is that the mind is tainted. The mind has certain patterns of behavior, patterns of thought, and those patterns come up all the time. So how to refine the mind? What to do about it? So first thing is that we must know the mind. We can think, but who is thinking? Is the thinking important for us, bringing the reality to us? If this is bringing the reality as it is, without interpretation, without any definitions that are being imposed upon that reality, then the mind is trustworthy. So another purpose of sadhana is to refine the mind so that its filters start disappearing. So each time you see something, ask, is it the real thing? Each time you come with a judgment or come up with a judgment, ask, how much is there, my ego and my mind behind this judgment? Am I seeing the reality as it is? Each time you have put a morsel of food in your mouth, don't be guided by your previous memory. Oh, this is dhokla, this is dosa, this is that. No, eat it as something you are eating for the first time. And then the reality will begin to shine through you. So this brings us to awareness. Bringing awareness to each moment is important. And if we are aware, then there is a newness to everything. You go to the river, you dangle your feet in the water, and it seems like something very usual. But is it the same water? You do it every day, but is it the same water? You go for a bath, you pour some water over your head. Is it the same water? But we take bath to be a ritual, which is happening every day. I am doing it, so I pour water, get over with it. But when we become aware of every action, every thought, every experience more and more, then we are becoming awareness, bringing awareness to it. And awareness is something which is the bigger part because it is because of awareness that we can see, we can experience. But since we do not look at awareness per se as something new, it's an original experience happening all the time. We are in the mind. The mind decides, oh, it is the bath. You just finish your bath, wipe yourself, get out of the bathroom. There is no newness to it. So just think about your own life. Are you living in the moment? Or are you letting this life pass by because of your mind's judgments? And if this mind is deciding everything, your experience of life, then something needs to be done about it. And sadhana is not something that you do for half an hour, 40 minutes, 1 hour, and then go back to your own ways. Sadhana means you are practicing to go to a goal. In our common parlance, we say, उसने योग को साध लिया है. So when you start doing some yogic postures initially, the body gives a lot of resistance. But as you keep doing it over and over again, and you bring awareness to those movements, those actions, those postures, then they become very easy. And then you start getting messages from different limbs of the body. The body starts talking to you. And then there is greater deliberation in whatever you are doing. A great saint once told me that not a single action of mine is without awareness. So he said, if I am talking to you and I hold my finger like this, it is an action in complete awareness. You will talk, you will bound to get carried away, and you can make lot of gestures. But when I just hold a finger like this, whatever I do, there is 100% awareness. And this is sadhana. So we have been coming here, meeting together, doing the Hanuman Chalisa. Why are you doing that? Because Hanumanji is the model of awareness. When you are in awareness, nothing seems impossible. Because you can see what the mind cannot see. Each time Hanumanji was given a challenge, it was something which was totally new. Now, when we are all used to operating through the mind, if we are given a challenge, which something which we haven't met before, then we become helpless. We say, oh my God, how am I going to do it? I cannot do it. But when you are in awareness, the awareness will find a way. If it has to happen, you will be given the necessary implements, you will be given the necessary understanding. It will come from within and you will do it. So because you are more in communication, your inner self is communicating with you. Last evening I was talking to Deepa and she shared this experience, which is a wonderful experience. She's a housewife, she's mother of 2 kids. She has to teach them, she runs her own thing. She's always multitasking. And then in this Anushthan that we finished, she took it upon herself that every single verse she will write a contemplation. And this amazing thing happened that she would just, go over the verse which was to be contemplated upon, and the contemplation had to be written. And she was be going around all this multifarious activities of her life. But After some interval, a sentence or a thought would be dropped in her mind. And amidst all the activity, she will know that, oh, something has come, and she'll make a note of it somewhere. And then in the evening, when she would decide to write that contemplation, then there will be sometimes, many, many ideas, many different interpretations there. So the inner self, which is the repository of all awareness, it knows everything. And it can give you many alternatives. Now you have to decide for this particular thing what alternative you choose. So when we start living in awareness, there is miraculous things happen because we are not relying upon our intellect. We are not relying upon the mind. A deeper wisdom begins to dawn. Life becomes so much easier. But it is to be experienced. So we must learn to do something that will take us beyond the mind, or that will make us less dependent upon the mind. And when we are in awareness, then whatever we do, that will be all right. There's a favorite story of mine. There are some new people, so I'll share it again. So there was a great saint, a Jain Muni, and he was a model of austerity. So he would have nothing except for a wooden bowl in which he used to beg and get some food and eat. But he had, big businessmen or rich people being his disciples. So the queen of a kingdom was his disciple, and then she saw this begging bowl that her guru was using, and she said, "Oh my God, this is very bad. I will get something which is really fancy for him." And she got a pot of gold, which was encrusted with all kinds of rubies and gems and jewels. And with great pomp, she handed it over to the Guru and said, "So, Guruji, you should use this particular bowl when you go out asking for your bhiksha." And the Guru said, "No, this old pot is good. But anyway, since you have brought it, I will take it." Now, when time came, the Guru was walking back to the forest where he had his hut, and a thief spotted him. And the thief started following him and looking at this man who was very thin, emaciated. He was not having a great, sustenance. This thief initially thought that, okay, I will just kill this fellow on the way and take away his pot. But then this thought arose that, oh, as it is, he is on the verge of death. Why should I taint my hands by killing him? So I will follow him, and he is going to a forest, so it will be easy for me to overpower him and take away that pot. So finally, the hut of the saint arrived. The saint went inside, and he was sitting there. And the thief was waiting for his opportunity that let him sleep. I will sneak in and take away the pot. But the saint was awake. And he had multidimensional awareness. He was seeing everything. He was seeing that this thief has been following me. He was seeing what the thoughts the thief is entertaining. And he was not going to sleep anyway. People who have known about Raman Maharshi, they would never sleep. At any point of time, if somebody went to him for darshan, he was just sitting on his bed, never asleep. So this thief was waiting for his opportunity, and the saint thought, oh my God, this fellow is waiting, waiting, and waiting. So let me end his wait. So he threw the pot outside the hut and called out the thief, and he said, oh brother, you just take it away and go. So the thief could not believe. And he took up the pot and he started running because lest the saint changes his mind. But then after some time he returned to the hut. And with folded eyes he came to the door of the hut. And the saint asked, "Oh, I have given you all this. Why have you come back? There was no need." And he said, "Look, I am a thief. And thievery is my profession." The ease with which you gave away this gold pot, it makes me think that you have something which is more precious than this. And since it is my business to be a thief, I would like to steal what you have, which is more precious than this gold pot. So the saint smiled and he said, "Yes, there is something which is more precious. But you'll have to follow some things." So then the thief said, "Well, Maharaj, you can ask me anything, but don't ask me to give up thievery. Because if I do this, give this up, then how am I going to survive? I will not give up thievery. You can ask me for anything." And this master smiled and said, "Okay. So you just follow one practice. Whatever you do it with awareness." And the thief nodded. He said, "Yes, that seems okay." And he walked away. But after a week or 10 days, this thief again appeared at the door of this hut. He looked emaciated, he was disheveled, tired, and he was in distress. So he came to the saint and said, "Look, you please take away this command that you have given to me." So he said, "What happened? Tell me." So this thief said that, "Look, I cannot commit a theft. I am aware, and each time a thought of committing a theft comes to my mind, my inner self forbids me from doing that. There is such condemnation that comes, and I am not able to act on this intention of committing a theft. So you please take your words back and allow me to become a thief as I was there before." And then the saint said that, "Look, you tell me, when you followed this command that be aware whatever you do, what happened?" And then the thief said, "Sir, I realize that I have been living in a sleep. All my life I have been asleep. Some thought comes up and I immediately follow it. But the awareness practice has given me self-respect. I never felt so much of respect for myself." And the saint said that, "Well, the choice is yours. I take my words back. You are free to do whatever you want, but you choose what you are going to do. Are you going to be living in that kind of sleep again? Are you going to be doing things which invite condemnation from your own inner self? You choose." And the thief was in contemplation for some time, and then he said, "Look, the worst that will happen is that I will die. But I choose this life, a life of awareness. And very soon, he himself became a great practitioner of meditation, and he was recognized as a great saint. So this is what awareness is about. We are living in a dream. We are being guided by the mind. So how long can we afford to live in a dream? Dream is not true. Dream is true only as far as or as long as you are watching the dream. But the dream gets over and you come out and you suddenly see, oh my God, there's nothing there. So there is need to observe the mind. There is need to understand the mind. Many of us have heard about Mullah Nasruddin. He is a character. It is said that there was a Mullah Nasruddin in one of the African countries, and he was a great saint, but he deliberately would do something which was foolish because he wanted to tell people or tell his disciples how they are caught in the deception created by the mind. It is said that in his village one day Mullah sat on a donkey and he was hitting the donkey and whipping the donkey, and the donkey was going around the village with great speed. And people got very apprehensive. They thought that something very bad has happened. And of course, the donkey was going at such great speed that Mullah could fall down and injure himself. So people decided to stop the donkey. It was not an easy task. Many people got injured, but finally they brought the donkey to a halt. And they asked Mullah, what is it that is happening? And Mullah got very angry with them. And he said, you idiots, don't you see that I am looking for my donkey? So he was sitting on the donkey. And he was making the donkey run around. And when people stopped the donkey and asked him what was wrong, he said he was looking for his donkey. And this is the dilemma of each one of us. The inner self is here with us every moment. And yet we say, I don't know, I am looking for it. And see how beautifully Mullah Nasruddin has demonstrated the dilemma of existence. We search for something that we already are. In my Guru's ashram, we had a great Swami, and she was sharing her enlightenment experience. I said, when enlightenment happened, there was just a subtle shift in my awareness, and it changed forever. I used to think that, oh my God, when a person gets enlightened, the heavens will open up, the devatas or the gods will come with a lot of band baja and celebrate. Nothing happened. And then I realized that, oh my God, I just became aware of myself. What is so great about it? It was already there all the time. And I was just searching around, searching and searching and searching. And by the grace of my Guru and by the grace of God, I found it. But it was already there. My Param Guru Baba Muktanand used to tell this story of the Queen's necklace, that there was a big party going on. And the Queen suddenly started crying and she said, oh, I've lost my necklace. I have lost my necklace. And everybody was looking for the necklace here and there. And then somebody came to her and pointed it, brought her the Queen's attention to her neck, and the necklace was already there. In Hindi, we have this kind of saying that "Bagal mein bacha aur shahar mein dindora." A woman is holding the baby in her lap and in her arms, and then she goes around crying, "I've lost my baby. Please find it." So this is the dilemma of man. The truth, call it by whatever name, God, some divine power, something, is already with us. And we are enlightened here and now, but we don't know it. So the whole process of sadhana is bringing that knowing. Now, how that does knowing come? The great asset that we have, or humans have, is attention. In our lives, whatever we give attention to, we know better. If an amma or a lady is cooking, when there is greater attention to the cooking, that cooking is wonderful. The food tastes better. If we are sweeping the floor and there is greater attention given to that sweeping, it is done carefully, then the floor shines more. If we are giving attention to any work that we are doing in the worldly life or material life, we give attention, it starts shining with that power of attention. So why do things shine when we give our attention? Because the awareness is there. When we get into the detail, we can see things more clearly than we normally do. So if getting back to the analogy of sweeping the floor, if we are not aware, we are thinking of an argument that we had the previous day and we are sweeping, we just everything will be left to run and we'll say, okay, we finished in 2 minutes. So bringing attention gives you detailing. It gives you a better understanding of everything that you are doing. And then whatever you do starts shining. Whatever you touch, it becomes gold. So what is attention? Attention is flow of awareness to a particular object. So an artist has created a painting and you go to the art gallery and you see the painting. Now what is the painting? It's just a collection of, figures, thoughts, pictures, whatever. But if you stand there, you stay before the painting and start looking at it with awareness, then what happens? The forms, the colors, they get integrated and they start telling you something about the picture, about the painting. And if you focus more, if you give your attention more and more, more understanding, more information about that painting starts flowing to you. And then you might even get into the mind of the artist and know what the artist had in mind when this painting was drawn. This is the power of attention. But attention with awareness. If there is just attention, we are looking at things in a hazy way. You can thinking the mind is somewhere else, and you're just looking or doing things. That will not bring clarity to the mind. So the need is that be attentive, pay very, very detailed or minute attention to whatever you are doing, and that will purify the mind. Otherwise, you are carried away. Again, coming back to a Nasruddin story, the many stories have been improvised after Nasruddin, that he was traveling in a train and that came this boy who walked up to him and he asked Nasruddin, please tell me what is the time by your watch. And it was a very simple conversation. Nasruddin had a watch on his hand, he could have told him. But instead of telling this boy the time, he just pushed him aside and he said, you get lost, you idiot. And the boy was not ready for this humiliation. It was a simple question. This fellow, if he did not want to tell him the time, he could have just said, forget it, I'm not going to tell you, but pushing him and telling him to get lost. So this boy got very angry and he grabbed Nasruddin by the collar and took him to the door. And he said, tell me why did you do what you did? Otherwise I'll throw you down. And now Nasruddin had to let go of all that anger that he had. He said, okay, son, let go of my neck and I will tell you. So this is the explanation that Nasruddin gives to this boy. He said, look, if I were to tell you the time, we are sure to get into a conversation. You will ask me my name, I will ask you your name, and very soon we will be conversing with one another, asking for more details, and then you will know that I live only a couple of stops down the line. So by the time my stop comes, out of sheer courtesy, I will invite you home for lunch because it is lunchtime and we have become friends. You will come home and there you will see my daughter who is so very beautiful. And by the grace of God, you are also quite a fine, young, handsome man. So you two are sure to fall in love with one another. And who knows, by the time the lunch gets over, you may be asking me for my daughter's hand. And then comes the crunch. He says, how can I give my daughter in marriage to a person like you who does not have even a watch of his own? A simple question. What is the time? Mullah Nasruddin has thought so many steps and he is answering from that space. So this is the story of each one of us. Our mind has created this universe, universe of thought and emotion. Because mind is very creative and then the mind puts us there that you live in this universe. So if the mind is creating a universe that is happy, we are happy. If the mind is creating a universe where all kinds of conspiracies, all kinds of things are happening, then you are living besieged by conspiracies. Everywhere you see a conspiracy. Some people will say that, well, why not see a conspiracy? Yes, you see a conspiracy, but You don't see a conspiracy just because your mind asks you to see it. Become free of the mind. So make your mind come to a situation where it has no filter. So you see things as they are, and then you act. Otherwise, the so-called wisdom that we embrace is false. It has no value. It is only entanglement. So another thing about the mind is that the mind is very strong. So a boy went to the Guru and said, Guruji, please give me an initiation. And the Guru said, okay. So the Guru gave him all the instructions that tomorrow morning you do this puja, and you sit there, you put an asana, you hold your breath, you do some pranayam, quieten the mind, and then you recite this mantra, and the mind will become quiet. And the boy was very happy. He thanked the Guru, and when he was going, the Guru called him back. He said, son, come here. One instruction is also there. One more instruction. And the boy said, what is that? The Guru said, don't ever think of a monkey when you are meditating. And the boy started laughing. He said, well, Guruji, I have not seen a monkey in the last 3 years. Why should I ever think of a monkey? And the Guru simply smiled. So the next morning, the boy prepared himself, set up everything. He started remembering the instructions the Guru had given him, one after the other. And everything was fine until he came to the last instruction. Don't ever think of a monkey. And immediately there was a monkey in his mind. And he started fighting with this monkey. And no matter how much he tried, the monkey wouldn't go. So what to do? He got up, he had some water, he had a walk, the mind quietened down, and then he thought, oh, now the mind is ready for meditation. He came and sat on the meditation. Again, he came to the last instruction, and the monkey was there. He was desperate. So many trials happened, but everything failed. And then he went back to the Guru and said, Guruji, you have given me all the instructions, but you have also given me this monkey. And it doesn't go. The mind is the monkey. So we have to train it. We have trained our mind to be a monkey through hundreds of lifetimes. We have given only this training. How the mind can be a monkey. Now we want to meditate, we want to do sadhana, and we expect the mind to fall in line. And the mind does not fall in line. So, what to do? Know the mind. Even armies that fight each other, they do a lot of study. And they see what are the great qualities, or what are the strengths, and what are the weaknesses of the rivals. So see what is the strength of the mind. The mind is very powerful. You cannot dictate to the mind. But you can make mind your friend. So how do you make mind your friend? So how do you make anybody your friend? You treat them well. You are welcoming towards them. So in the same way, when the mind is creating its distractions, the mind is doing what it wants to do, it is not listening to you. First thing is accept it. Do not fight. Because if you fight, then you are finished. Mind is very powerful. In our scriptures, it is said that Chiti Sankochayati iti Chittam. The power, the divine power of God, Chiti, consciousness, pure consciousness, when it is contracted, it loses its freedom. It becomes the stuff of the mind. So the power of God is creating, maintaining, and dissolving real universes that we see around us. But this mind, the stuff of the mind, it creates imaginary universes and it makes us live in those universes. It is very creative, so we must respect it. It has that power. So what do? We train the mind. We give the mind something that will stop the hyperactivity of the mind. So what is it that you can give to the mind? So give the mind a neutral thought, a thought which will not generate other thoughts. Every thought that we give to the mind, it generates other thoughts. You are trying to meditate and suddenly you remember something, an unfinished work in the office. And what happens? Immediately your meditation is derailed because in your imagination you see your boss shouting at you. And then you think of a reply. Okay, you had given me this task, I couldn't do it because there's so much to do. And my subordinates are not listening. Nobody is doing, nobody is helping me. How do I do? So all this dialogue comes up. Then if you are more creative and more imaginative, then you can see yourself, slapping the boss. Then there's a breakdown. You can see yourself losing the job. One simple thought, some unfinished business in the office. And so much has happened. So if the mind creates this distraction and know that it has that divine power. So what is it that we do? We can always decide what kind of thought we are going to give to the mind. So what is the thought? Give the mind a dose of Hanuman Chalisa. The mind will settle down. Give the mind awareness of the breath. Always we say, become aware of your breathing. Let your awareness go within. So what happens? That whatever is the distraction on the outside, it fades. It goes away. Give the mind the mantra. There are mantras, the syllables, which are divine syllables. You repeat those syllables and they just kill the mind. The definition of mantra is that mananat trayate yasmat tasmat mantra prakritita. That the repetition of which or recitation of which again and again, it protects you is mantra. So basically mantra is an instrument of meditation, instrument of contemplation which protects you from your own mind because it kills the mind. The mind is not there after some time. And then the mind becomes saturated, then something great happens. Like my brother-in-law shared that, he did Hanuman Chalisa with such fervor that even in sleep, that Hanuman Chalisa was happening to him. So, other thing is that we can choose and decide what are the activities that are agitating the mind. So, social media, if you start looking at YouTube or WhatsApp in the morning, then everything, every channel there is proclaiming doom. Nowadays, there are so many astrologers who are giving prediction about 2026. They say, oh my God, this so much is happening. The world will be reset, this will happen, that will happen. But whatever has to happen will happen. Can anybody stop it? Then people think that they can stop. Mahabharata has happened. Ramayana has happened. Ravan was killed. The Pandavas became victorious. Was dharma established forever? No. It is in the nature of things that in creation, good and bad are going to coexist. So if somebody thinks that he is a great protector of dharma and he will just establish dharma, forget it. Krishna could not do it. Ram could not do it. We are very small fellows. But what can we do? We can do something to uplift our awareness. So if the awareness is raised, then no matter what is happening on the outside, the experience of God will be there. And that is why we are here for. And when the time to leave this body comes, we can move out of the body and merge into the Absolute. So the priorities have to be well defined. Of course, God gives all kinds of choices to everybody. Every moment has a choice. So if you feel that, oh, I am the emissary of providence and I have to do something, do it. You will only prolong your existence by a few more lifetimes. If you are not in a hurry, you want maybe another 50 lifetimes, fair enough. Don't change. But if you feel that this is the lifetime when you should make a difference to your life, then don't waste your time on frivolous activities. There is something called a relative truth, and there is something called the absolute truth, the Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan means eternal. So what is eternal? Your own inner self is eternal. You have taken so many lifetimes, but that eternal, that inner self has remained the same. It has come from God, it will go back to God. Knowing it is your duty. So can you do it? Or do you want to do it? Or you want to be engaged in all kinds of practical truths? Practical truths will change with time. There was a time when communists or communism was considered the great thing because capitalism was creating a lot of exploitation. Today, communism is a hated term because people saw that communist rulers or in communist societies were very oppressive. So it has become hated. But the thing is like this, that all these things are relative truths. When the time changes, the situation changes, circumstances change, definitions will change. And if you are holding on to a particular ism, then you will be always in misery. So rise above the ism and embrace your own inner self because it is omnipotent, it is omniscient, and it is omnipresent. When you go close to it, you will see yourself everywhere. This whole world is a reflection of your being. And there is a clear understanding that divinity resides within me. So just close your eyes and ask yourself, who am I? And then hold on to a role that comes up. Somebody may say, oh, I'm a housewife or I'm a working person. So you identify with your job or profession or your role in the family. I'm a husband, I'm a father, a mother, a son, whatever. So whatever role you want to choose, take that role. I am a husband. I am a father. I am a working person, whatever. And repeat it to yourself a few times and see what comes up when you identify with the role. And this is a thought that will give rise to so many thoughts. When you think of your job or profession, then you might think, oh, when am I going to make more money? When I am going to be recognized? When am I going to be given my due place? And if you think of your role in the family, then you might come up, oh, my family is nice. I feel so much attached to them. I love them. Or there may be a thought that, oh, nobody appreciates. Why is it that my wife always criticizes me or my husband always criticizes? And then there will be a train of thoughts. You may have some apprehensions about somebody's health, some other concerns, and those things will come up. And you will remain there with them. Not that anything good in particularly good or bad, but see how one thought leads to another thought, and the mind is working. And now you see, just give yourself to who is behind the role. So when you took up a role, you said, I am a working person, or I am a husband, or I am a wife. And now you just say to yourself, I am, I am. Let the role disappear. I am, I am, I am, I am. And just sit in this experience for a minute or two. You are being taken to a space where you are not doing anything, just resting. And you say, I am. There is nowhere to go, nothing to search for. And it becomes a very restful state. So rest there for a minute or so. When you are ready, you may open your eyes very, very gently and bring yourself in the here and now. We'll take a few shares quickly. Anybody wants to share anything? You can just unmute yourself and speak. How did it feel? Nobody? It's fine. So not being able to speaking anything, that means that you are in a zone of silence. That is fine. So this was a little introduction to the mind and why we do sadhana. The whole purpose is to find our own self. And we can find it only when we just give the mind some rest. We are in the habit of using the mind too often. When the mind is at rest, then we are closer to the inner self. So let us end with the Shanti part. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai.